Welcome back. Brace yourself for a bit of a gap down, not as sharp as the sell-off on Wall Street, where the key indices were down between 2 to 4%. But it looks like the unwinding will continue in the Indian markets. Yesterday, the Nifty and the Sensex were down close to about 0.3, 0.4%. The mid-caps were down 1.5%. And the Nifty implied open suggests a gap down of 100 points. What about individual stocks? Our research team is standing by with CNBC-TV18's list of top stocks for the day. And the stock of the day on the way down could be IndusInd Bank. Abhishek joins in with the details. Abhishek.
Well, Rima, IndusInd Bank could hit another 52-week low in trade today, given the fact that they have given an update wherein the internal review of processes with respect to asset and other liability accounts of derivative portfolio has shown that about 2.35% of their net worth will get adversely impacted. So calculation shows that this would be around 1,580 crore post-tax and about 2,100 crore pre-tax with respect to the liability that will come up for provisions. So they have appointed an external agency to review and validate the internal findings. The bank's profitability and capital adequacy ratio remains healthy to absorb this one-time impact. The management did held a con call for analysts yesterday, wherein they mentioned that the practice has been ongoing for 5 to 7 years and was discovered as a part of the review initiated following new RBI guidelines with effect from 1st of April 2024. So CEO's one-year extension versus the 3 years that the board had sought acknowledged to be influenced by this issue as well. So analysts do say that there is one-time earnings impact, but this can lead to short-term derating of the bank. So some of them have cut their earning estimate anywhere between 20% to as high as 25%. We have MK as well as Jefferies and Citi who have reduced the target price on the stock. In fact, MK has downgraded the stock to add from buy. Back to you.
Okay, so lots of brokerage views coming in, pointing out these issues and how they've come as a complete surprise. Thanks for that, Abhishek. That's the numero uno stock that we'll watch out for. Several others as well. Let's move to the others on the list. Vamakshi is joining in. Vamakshi, morning. Why are you watching out for Hitachi Energy?
Well, good morning, Surbi. Hitachi Energy is expected to open higher today, and that is because Hitachi Energy has launched its QIP yesterday. The base issue size is worth 2,000 crores. They also have an option to upsize this to 3,000 crores. The floor price for this issue has been determined at 12,112.50 per share. This is coming in at a nearly 4% discount to the closing price on NSE yesterday. The indicative issue price is at 11,507, which is at a 9% discount to the closing price yesterday. This could lead to a dilution of up to 6.15% at an indicative issue price, and largely the proceeds will be utilized to fund the capex requirements of the company. Keep in mind that a couple of months ago the company had announced capex plans worth almost 2,000 crores, so a large chunk of it could go towards this. In addition to that, they could also utilize some of these funds for working capital requirements as well as for general corporate purposes. So given this development, going with the green for Hitachi Energy, the stock has been under pressure over the last 2 sessions.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Vamakshi. Well, I'm looking at HEG. I'm going with green on that one because they've proposed value unlocking in Bhilwara Energy, in which the current listed entity has around 49%, while the remaining 51% is with the promoter entity. Now, BEL, that's Bhilwara Energy Limited, they have approved a fundraise of up to 500 crore rupees. Singularity AMC, in fact, that's the one that's coming in there. And the focus really is accelerating its energy transition businesses. Remember, Singularity is backed by Mr. Madhu Kela, who's a noted investor. Now, Singularity AMC will hold close to 9.6% stake in Bhilwara Energy for initial 250 crores. They have an option of putting another 250 crores. So 250 crores will be put down, another 250 crores could come in later. Due to this transaction, HEG's stake will come down to around 44% from around 49% in Bhilwara Energy Limited. And as per the earlier scheme that was announced, BEL, well, it will be merged into HEG Limited. And HEG Limited will house the green as well as the renewable energy part of the business. The other part of the business will be the current core business, which is the graphite business. The promoter stake in HEG Limited, the one that will house this green energy business, will now be around 60%. Remember earlier, before this dilution in BEL, it was going to be at around 70%. So net, it's a positive because there is some value unlocking in one of the subsidiaries. That's why, in fact, expect the stock to open up with the green.
Okay, all right. So that's HEG. Watch out for this one. Let's move on. We have a couple of other names like BEL, Anupam, Rasayan and Naveen Fluoride. And Upasna is joining in to tell us why all of these are in the news this morning. Upasna.
Well, good morning. First up, let me start with BEL. Continuous slew of orders for this stock continues to remain in focus. Now, companies received orders worth 843 crores since 6th of March 2025. With this, the company's total accumulated orders received for the current year stands at 14,567 crores. Mind you that the company needs order worth additional 10,433 crore to meet its annual guidance, that is 25,000 crore order inflow guidance given by the company for FY25. Moving on to Anupam Rasayan, the company signs a 10-year letter of intent worth 922 crores with a Korean MNC, which is a leader in specialty chemicals for a high-performance niche chemical expected to be supplied from FY26. And lastly, Navin Fluorine will also be in focus today as the additional 4,500 TPA hydrofluorocarbon R32 plant goes on stream in Surat. And mind you that the additional capex for this plant incurred by the company is around 84 crores is what they have indicated. So all in all these three stocks remain in focus, and I expect all of them to open in green today.
Thank you very much for that. It's back to Vamakshi for more stocks which are in the news.
Well, good morning, Reema. First up is Thermax. The Thermax Chemical Solutions, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, has entered into an agreement with Oswaldo Cruz, Brazil. They will be establishing a new company in India, and this is being done to set up a dedicated production facility for manufacturing acrylic resins in India. Now, keep in mind that Thermax Chemical Solutions will hold 51% stake in this new company, while the other entity, which is Oswaldo Cruz, will hold nearly 49% stake, and the new company will enable the Thermax Chemical Solutions to strengthen its portfolio offerings in the chemical space. So going with the green for this counter on the back of this news flow. Syngene is the next counter we're watching out for, going with the green for this one as well, and that is because its arm has acquired its first manufacturing facility in the US from Emergent Manufacturing Operations. The overall investments in this US facility is expected to be somewhere around $50 million or somewhere approximately 436 crores in rupee terms. This facility will be available for client projects from the second half of 2025, and in the short term, they're expecting minor dilution of operating margins on account of the cost that will be associated with this acquisition. Lastly, let's focus in on Ashoka Buildcon. They've received a letter of acceptance for MSETCL project worth almost 312 crores. So going with the green for this counter as well.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Vamakshi. I think there's one more stock that you're tracking, Star Health. Tell us more.
Well, good morning, Nigel. You know, Ahmedabad hospitals and nursing homes have actually suspended cashless services for policyholders of Star Health as well as Tata AIG General Insurance. The cashless, claims will not be available for policyholders starting from April 1st. And the reasons why they have suspended this is on account of concerns around unjustified deductions, low charges reimbursed, non-renewal of tariff rates, as well as one-sided blacklisting of hospitals. So given that development, going with the red for Star Health.
Okay, all right, got that. Thank you very much, Vamakshi. So let's quickly recap our list of stocks to watch this morning. The ones that have positive news flow around them: Hitachi Energy, HEG, Bharat Electronics, Anupam Rasayan, Navin Fluorine, Thermax, Syngene, and Ashoka Buildcon. The stocks that have some negative news around them are IndusInd Bank and Star Health. Okay, with that, let's get back to the global headlines and this big, whiplash that's playing out, the global sell-off. How is that impacting the world of, commodities? We have Manisha on the phone line. Manisha, it's been a bit of a sleepless night watching all of these events and these markets fall. What's the latest in your scheme of things?
Oh, well, absolutely, Surbhi. It's been a sell-off and a sharp one at that in commodities as well on tariff impact concerns. The global equity decline also has impacted commodities, so has the weak economic data. So if you look at the precious metals, they also have declined. So we have gold down 1% overnight, silver fell 1.5%. Crude prices fell almost 2% overnight on weak demand concerns there. And then we also are looking at Chinese producer and consumer prices declining more than what the markets were anticipating. For crude, it also is about increasing supplies from OPEC and allies, from Russia perhaps, and US for sure, and that is weighing on. And then it has spilled over into the metal space as well. Last week was a great one for metals, but this week hasn't started that way. So overnight, we've seen 1.5% decline for copper. Iron ore is now trading at a 2-month lows. Steel prices at 1-month lows, and that has had a spillover effect. Rubber is now trading at a 1-month lows as well. So most of the industrial commodities are really weighed down.
Thank you very much for that, Manisha, for that important update. We will get into a short break on that note. On the other side, we'll connect with Siddharth Khemka of Motilal Oswal Financial Services for some fundamental stock talk.